welcome to another episode of Rage Across the Internet, your very own Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, we've got the temperate Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
Producer extraordinaire. And today, we have another pair of guests with us remotely.
Pair?
We were going to let them in studio, but the smell, we couldn't. Are
you insinuating that they're bonars? Or at least one of them is?
You know, you can make your own decisions on that one. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
So I'd like to present to you, you dear listeners, everybody, straight from our own Discord, two mods and two talented storytellers. We have Strides of the Dark, also known as Strides. Good to have you, buddy.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
And then some guy, some attention-seeking creep.
Yeah, because we don't give him enough attention.
No, he definitely doesn't get enough attention.
No, he doesn't. So we had to put him right here on the podcast.
Charybdis the Mighty Jenkins, two-time apple polishing champion, straight from Germany. Charybdis, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, guys. It's great to be here. And you're right, I don't get enough attention, so give me more. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly why you're here.
Well, you're going to be on air, man. So
yep, you got all of it now.
It's going to be recorded. If you change your mind, it's too late.
Between him and Porter's head getting too big, I expect something to blow up soon.
Yeah, well, we have Danny here, don't we?
Something very well may.
Yes. Well, let's start it already. So
guys, I'm glad to have you with us.
Yes, thanks, guys, for being here. It's awesome. This will be a nice treat.
Yes, this is Danny's baby. So everyone out there, if you hate it, you send me an email, and I'll give you Danny's home address.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
45372 Help Street, bitch.
Help Street. There we go. Oh, boy.
Did I get those numbers even close?
No, not
cool.
even close.
Excellent. All right. So before we get down to it, we got some business to take care of. So first and foremost, we have our Patreon. You've heard of it a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's still there, and we still need your help. So if you have anything you can give, it would mean the world to us. And as a bonus, we get to give stuff back to you, which oddly enough, I kind of like better.
Yeah, well, sure, PayPal would be nice.
Well, no, fuck PayPal.
Yeah, we don't want PayPal. We want to give back because
I'm going to remove the fucking PayPal link. That's how sick I am of it. Here's what I'm saying.
Hey, that's even better.
No, I love the postmortems, man.
Oh yeah.
I actually I care more about giving those out than the fucking money. I swear to God.
I agree.
Those are so much fun to record. And in fact, we've got two people here. Gentlemen, how are those postmortems?
Oh, they're great. So postmortems give me way too many ideas to not implement them in my games and just totally ripping you off.
Well, hey.
I love it.
If you want to rip them off, go for it.
You know, I enjoy them really well, especially when I'm doing long drives, listening to them. It feels like getting back together with a bunch of friends and just rehashing previous games. But I also want to mention the monthly movie or set of movies that we generally watch together. And that's always a great time, too. Regardless, I think, of what Patreon value people put in, you'll definitely get some, especially in this age of COVID, where you really don't get to go out and socialize. You get to socialize with a bunch of people who enjoy Werewolf and enjoy watching questionable movies.
Questionable, I appreciate that.
You can't call them movies. They're pieces of art.
Well, I'll see that too. That's a raise. Holy shit! Thank you. That's
Thanks for saying so,
it's
man.
a better endorsement than I could give. So you heard it directly from people who were not paying.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, in fact, we are paying you, so yeah.
Even better.
See?
Yeah. So you're getting the endorsement from someone who are paying us.
They paid good money to
say this. Yeah. Wow.
But it's a great way to help us, and obviously, you see our ads on Facebook or whatever, give those a thumbs up because they get around.
Yeah, it helps the circulation.
Yeah, and
helps the word out.
The 5 stars, the reviews. It sounds stupid. It doesn't take long. We all know it.
It's so weird,
but it makes such a difference in terms of
getting us out there.
Yeah. So please, anything you can do, and I think that's really That'll about cover it for now. We don't need to dwell on this too much, do we?
No, I think we have a show today.
We do, and it's your baby. This
Yeah.
was your idea.
It's my idea. Not only that, but it's
it was my idea, and then you stole it and tweaked it a bit.
a few times.
But it's now your idea.
The third time, actually.
And so what are we doing today, Danny?
Well, you clicked on the show already.
Well, no, I'm in the studio with you.
No, I'm talking to the listeners now.
Okay.
They've seen the title, and if they haven't, well, sorry for wasting your time. But we're going with everyone's favorite episodes, apparently, with A Tale of Two Wolves. But hey, little tweak again.
Yeah, there are three of us.
There are 3 storytellers here today. This should be fun.
Yeah, I think it should be mentioned. I did forget to mention, but Strides here actually runs a game on our Discord.
Yes, he does. So, getting Strides' input on some of these plot hooks may be beneficial from some of your own players. What do you think?
I mean, by showing my hand, or then yeah, probably if they get an insight in the madness that is my mind.
Well, there you go. This should be this one's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
So am I, but if it's not, we only have you to blame.
Fine.
All right.
Oh, come on. That's the only reason you got us in here, right? To have somebody to blame for both.
Got a point.
No, we thought it would be good. I mean, we had talked about doing some kind of Storytellers Summit thing.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure the angle we wanted to take, and it was just, well, let's take the fucking Tale of Two Wolves.
Yeah.
Let's take those and just do it that way.
People loved that first episode, The Tale of Two Wolves. It was
We did two of them, right?
Well, it was probably our number one requested redo of an episode, so we did it, and people still loved it. Hey, we're going a third time, and that's the best part, because ever since then, I've asked around on the Discord, I've said it on air, people send in the plot hooks. Send them to me, because most of these plot hooks I have today are from suggestions around the community from our Discord members and our fans.
Now, are you going to let the cat out of the bag of who's responsible for each?
Yes.
So if these are particularly mean or torturous or stupid, we know who to blame?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Now,
petty revenge, guys. Let's hope this...
Now, whether or not those people got it from somewhere else, I couldn't tell you. That's just what they send me. I'm just going to make that disclaimer right now.
Well, see, now I mean, I made a joke, but now if they plagiarize their shit, they're in trouble. It's getting right on air, man. I hope those were fresh ideas.
I hope so, too. Hey, like I said, they sent them to me. We're putting them on air. When they sent them, they knew what they were getting in for.
All right. Gentlemen, you ready?
Always.
Yes, sir.
All right, Danny.
All right. The first
Take it away.
one. This one is from Turtle. Wolf hunting season is currently ongoing, and your pack is tasked with protecting several of Lupus kinfolk without disturbing the wild or their wildness. Now, Porter, you're first.
All right. Well, first of all, for the baby version, it's a pretty straightforward deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously something Wormesque, this way comes, but I think that's a great opportunity to breed some appreciation for the Lupus side of things. Because you're going to get these kids coming together, right off their right or whatever, just irritated as shit that they're stuck out and bumfuck wherever babysitting some stupid wolves because they don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a great opportunity to shift that perspective. And really, and maybe the antagonist of that story isn't something wormish, and maybe it's those wolves. Where all of a sudden they find themselves maybe a little outsmarted in a lupus to lupus conflict or something.
Okay.
Charybdis, thoughts?
Well, my thoughts would be, why not toss the whole worm thing out of the window and make it that's just corporate greed. Why people are hunting those wolves, because some wolves killed some sheep, and now you have the farmers riding up and going on a wolf hunt. That's for a baby version, and it will throw the players in a dilemma of protecting the wolves against, just normal humans, not like worm danger or whatever, just normal humans. And now I have the dilemma of what you're going to do.
Yeah, I like that.
You've...
get the antagonist that, again, isn't a credible threat to the players, but presents with I appreciate that. It becomes a moral... I dig it. Strides, what do you got?
I will see Crib, and I will raise him one.
Oh, shit.
Not only do you get to see the lupus way of doing things, right? get to know them day in and day out, see their struggles and trials, but you're also dealing with the kinfolk that live in that area. And let's say, they're ranchers, right? Some of them may be ranchers, and now you're having kinfolk, cross species, coming into conflict, where the human kinfolk are like, why haven't you prevented the lupus from killing our livestock and our livelihood? That goes back to supporting the SEP.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, before we move on, I think, at least for me, for a more experienced pack, I would maybe, first of all, I would have them fail to help the kinfolk to an extent. That you're going to lose like half of them.
Oh, wow.
But not know why. Turns out the water supply has been poisoned by a nearby factory, plant, what have you.
Something, yeah.
But it's that they'll have to figure that out in the first place and then deal with that threat. Because these gentlemen had great ideas, you can add in something like the kinfolk rancher who was also maybe like a red herring. Maybe he poisoned them. She's a red herring, something to complicate issues.
No, it's the first one, and we're already putting things into crazy perspectives. I love it.
I like this building off each other's shit here. This is cool.
Yeah. Charybdis, you have one to go on more experienced players?
For more experienced players, maybe have it. It strongly depends where this wolf hunt is going. And I think we had the talk on the Discord once about the last wolf hunts in Norway. Maybe go for this one. The wolves are hunted because people want to sell the pelts. And while this is looking like a everyday thing or whatever in this direction, we actually have some Black Spirits or some Pantex people getting people on this hunt to, at the end of the day, hit the kinfolk without hitting the kinfolk directly. Make it 2, 3, 5 layers of things until you get to the guys who actually support and pay for the stuff.
I like it. Strides, hit me.
I was just saying for a experience pack, what I'd probably do is add in a little bit of Black Spiral complications. That it's really kind of them that are pushing this conflict between the two kinfolk, right? The two kinfolk species, to really destabilize the sept, cause strife between the leaders who are maybe Hamid or Lupus, and have the players have to deal with that on that multi-level, where originally they're not sure of what's going on, but as more is being revealed, they realize that the sept itself completely is being manipulated at a pretty high level.
Hey, why not add maybe it's actually the kinfolk you're going to protect is infested by Black Spiral Dancer kinfolk, and at the end of the day you're starting to protect Dancer kinfolk.
That's a way you could most definitely go. I don't know if I would do that necessarily. With a more experienced pack, maybe. It just kind of depends. If I've already done Black Spirals in an arc before, I try to stay away from them. You know what I mean? So it's not always Black Spirals. You don't always want to hit your players with the same stick over and over again.
What if one of the wolves was secretly a robot?
Weaver poop.
You guys ready for the next one?
Yeah, shoot it.
All right, next one. Kinfolk around the sept have been getting sick lately. Symptoms never really get any worse, but they keep coming and going at the same intensity for each individual, and some worse than others. However, the disease seems to be spreading rapidly. Does the pack need to go investigate, cause, or heal? What do they do?
Who was...
Charybdis, you're first.
I'm first, yeah.
Who said that in there?
Oh, sorry. This one's from Sleep Incarnate.
Okay.
That's kind of a tough one. I'd probably go for a DNA approach on this one.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I stole your idea, right?
So far, yeah.
So, I'd go for a DNA. It's basically, it's a testing population. You have, you know how medical studies are done, and you have one of the population is getting quote-unquote real stuff, while the other one gets placebo, and that's why they're affected differently. And the problem is, if the pack has to actually investigate on this, depends on how strongly the kinfolk is infected, and would that actually influence the sept in the area?
Porter's a little pumped out right now.
All right.
Strides, what do you got? Give
Well,
Porter a second to think about this one.
Oh no, but Strides is next. All right.
So, like, back when I was originally talking about starting a game on y'all's, I was going this route, and then I kind of reversed a couple of things. So I'm just going to go off of what my original plot was. In this small town, there are a number of factories that produce food, right? And so one of them is like a Tyson's Chicken factory. So the idea I had was that the Tyson Chicken factory has become kind of a blight because of the mass killings and for producing food. And the idea I had was that because of that, it was affecting something the Uktena had imprisoned deep into the ground. So it's not just the kinfolk that are being affected, but it's the first thing players would come across, being affected by this blighted poultry affecting them. And then as they investigate, they begin to uncover that, yes, this factory is an issue and we can deal with it, but there's a bigger underlying issue that has now been awoken.
Okay.
Well, first off, I think we all know to be wary of things or people named Tyson. But also not sponsored. So
Son of a bitch.
so I too was going with the DNA approach and the quote disease. I mean, this was my original idea. I can tweak it if I need to. You son of a bitch. No, is that it is in fact the disease is a side effect. You know, to DNA, GLS is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a real disease. But good luck getting, you know, like any governing body to acknowledge it.
Okay.
So while they're workshopping cures, they obviously can't get anything passed, even for animal trials.
Okay, no, I see where you're flowing with it now.
So you track this back, and you find out that they have selected X amount of small towns in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and we're assuming, because I'm allowed to do that it's a small town sept, you know, and they put additives in the drinking supply that are potential cures for GLS and are secretly monitoring the townsfolk in those locations. The kinfolk are having a reaction, and that's what that disease is. So it becomes up to them to solve that mystery and follow that back to not only the source in that particular town, but this whole network.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's similar, but it was in my heart.
All right, Charybdis. You got a more experienced version of that?
More experienced version. Well, what if one of the long-term complications of this disease, and it's something that's not shown directly, is that the kinfolk will actually go sterile?
Well, it's definitely a complication.
And what about, I mean, that's maybe not really sterile, but only there are no Garou-borns or no True-borns afterwards.
So it effectively
I probably just would add on the first approach, because, I mean, DNA is already a pretty deep thing, especially if I would go for Porter as well. They just use the water supply and affect it. And maybe you can, and the players have to figure out, is actually the normal human population as well affected by it, or it's just the kinfolk.
That's a good point.
And then as a side effect, they at one point realized, hey, this is going on for quite some time, and since about a year or two, there are no new Garou born anymore.
Oh, you're playing the long game then.
Yeah, and maybe they didn't care for that, or didn't thought about that, because they have the whole thing about Helios coming up, and no new Garou is a sign of the apocalypse. So they tied it to that. But if you're going to investigate, you realize actually that's going on since a few years back already.
Playing the really long game. I like it. All right, Strides, what do you got?
Shoot, man. Like I said, they find something more dangerous, that has been awoken, essentially. And try to play up the spiritual side, because most games I've seen tend to ignore that the spiritual world aspect of werewolf. So play that up a bit more, that the spiritual world does affect the mundane.
Okay, so now Porter.
Well, I think this is one I wouldn't really break down between experienced and inexperienced. I think it's the kind of story that, and I think in everybody's case here, that it requires a little bit of outside the box thinking, some investigation, some putting some thought into it, and really at that point I would just increase any level of pushback to compensate for the level of experience. I don't think this one really needs to be separated.
That's fair. I mean, I can see why, because especially if you are going to do it for a newer pack, it gives them that investigation, and they can lead them in broad strokes of the entire thing here.
Right.
So.
And I mean, even then, maybe it could be just in terms of scale, to where you find the one and done with a new pack, but again, with the more experienced pack, they find the whole network of different towns, and now now we got an arc.
Yeah.
Look out, baby, we got other places to go.
Oh, shit. All right.
Next.
This one is from Lyrics of War. Cockroach, or a member of his brood, approaches the pack and asks them to help free some imprisoned in a Pentex facility. When the players eventually get to whoever they need to free, they end up being a Samza, or the Mockery breed. Strides, you're first.
Let's see. Can I pass on this real quick?
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
I think largely he wrote a lot of that for us.
Right. But I'm
kind of.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I mean,
no big deal.
I'll put a little extra spin on it, I guess. But I think Lyric, you mostly you did that for us. Thanks. It's a Mockery breed.
Yeah, I would kind of third that in this situation, kind of. Sorry, like she already wrote the whole story.
Yeah. I guess to give an answer of some sort, maybe the it comes to the Garu and is trying to broker some sort of deal for protection in exchange for secrets. And you could play up a level of paranoia, maybe do like a battle episode, like they get trapped somewhere trying to free him. And it's do we wait for certain death when the first team show up, or do we trust this fucking thing? Mostly that story's written. Thanks, Lyrics.
I would probably go for the one approach. Maybe cockroach is tricking you. I mean, that would be the salvage part here. You're going in there, you're trying to rescue this thing, and that turned out to be a Mockery breed. And as you're trying to get it free, you're more or less realizing how this thing is not getting freed, but trapping you inside. And at the end of the day, it might be a dystopian version of the plot, but at the end of the day, you realize that Cockroach is a fucker and he tricked you into getting to be guinea pigs yourself.
All right, there's still a positive spin here.
Yeah, I don't know about the weird guinea pig thing, but...
Strides, you got anything?
No, boss. He pretty much wrote it, and I'm just like, where can I interject at a point and introduce a different element than what both Porter and Crib added? I don't know if that's really my box of my wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
I get you. Well, like I said, that one's from Lyrics, so we know who to blame.
Yep.
There we go.
Lyrics. That's why I call him Lyric. There's only one of them.
All right. This one's from Harris645. A kinfolk or Garu of the same sept was abducted by Black Spiral dancers and being corrupted. How long does the sept take to retaliate, and what do they do? If the corruption has already started, do they kill their fallen kill their fallen ally, or try to capture and purify them?
Why, yes. Well, I mean, again, I think we're put in a situation where a lot of that story is already written, and we're being presented with the choices that we would present to a group. So I'm gonna spin this thing also.
Yes, please.
I'm just gonna take it places. So what if, right, instead of a Black Spiral or a group of, or for even first team, is snatching these people, what if it looks like aliens? But I mean, like it looks like aliens.
Oh, so they're making it look like that on purpose?
Are they? Like, you go to investigate the scene and the scent just stops. It's just gone. And maybe there's like a weird contraption and I mean, obviously, it's probably not aliens. But, maybe it's a Pentex crew or it's something else. We look into things like fear or the various wormish cults that exist. And what if it's something outside the box where it's alien to us but not extraterrestrial?
Okay.
But nonetheless, it appears as if little green men have stolen. And maybe even, you include testimony, like witness accounts. So you send this pack out to the woods to find out where the hell this guy went. He hasn't been reporting in. Get his ass back here. And that trail leads them to I saw a saucer come picked up that wolfman. He picked up Rochester like E.T., man, I'll tell you what. And now, like, how the fuck do you deal with that? I think that's the thing. I think you make a little quirky story out of that.
Okay.
Yeah, can I say something real quick?
Please.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do Black Spiral. Like, once again, going back to, like, you keep hitting your players with Black Spiral and Worm. They see it in everything, right? So I would do Fae.
Oh.
Okay.
I would
Oh, yeah, you green little guys.
You got your green little guys, right? Taking them up in a saucer because they can make you think anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the Fae are doing it because
Fun.
well, not just fun, but they're trying to figure out how strong the Garu are in the area, because they do have they know that Fianna exists, right? Or at least most of them do, and so they're trying to figure out where the boundaries are without provoking an ass beating, if you will.
I dig it. Charybdis?
I would say they were never adopted. They just made it look like. They just run away because the Garu part was reluctant in the first place, and he didn't want to have die in a war he never chose to be in. And the kinfolk is just in love and follows him or her. And they do a pretty good job in trying to throw hints at black spirals and vampires and whatever. And they, at the end of the day, they just ran to Vegas.
I like that. It's a simple explanation, but there's elegance in that.
Yep, he goes Ronin.
I mean,
that would for the non-experienced group, I would just run what was written. Some black spiral abducted those guys, and that's the story. And if I go for a more experienced part, spin it. They never run. They just try to hint that at you.
No, you're right. I think the version that was written was the easy version. That was the new player version for sure.
All right.
Yeah, those are good calls, guys. I mean, they didn't have as much hillbilly accent as mine, but I suppose
you wouldn't want to hear me trying an American hillbilly.
Absolutely. That's all I want in the world right now.
Nah, I could try, and even that I don't know if I can do it right. A bad American German accent.
Listen, we're only recording. It's just the four of us. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I know you guys, and I know this would be on air so fast. It would be maybe an extra disclaimer just out there. Here, Charybdis talk German English.
Honestly,
I was just writing it down. How'd you know that?
It depends on how terrible it is. We might charge for it. It might be that good. It might be that funny.
Poor broken Southern English.
All right. Well, I have another one from Harris. All right.
Is this a full story too?
No, I'm shortening this one a little bit, so it doesn't come to that. During a hunting trip, a sept member kills an animal that is unknowingly a kinfolk of a local Pharaoh group the sept has a strained treaty with.
You're gonna have to point to one and start us. Whose turn?
Strides, you go. You skipped last time, so.
Yeah, cheater.
It's fair. So with a new group, what I would do is I would have them playing Peacekeeper, right? You're having to put out all these fires that are now all the ties of trust and friendship are now fraying at a rapid pace, and on top of that, there is this other threat that you need the Pharaoh for. So you have to play up the diplomacy game a little bit. I would throw some combat, in there between the Farah or even another werewolf pack that disagrees with what you're doing. But for the most part, I would just have them play firemen and putting out fires for a bit.
All right. What do you got, Charybdis?
No, that's a questionable. So, yeah, I think it all comes down to do they actually want to save the peace?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on which Farah it is.
And maybe it comes down to that this killing was not accidental, but the guy who made the killing while trying to show regret and stuff like that is actually part of a group of the SYBS that wants a war between the Farah and the Garu, because those Farah are wormsborn and they should be killed and exterminated. They had a whole wall of rage for that.
Porter is so mad right now.
You're making me talk about Farah and Garu holding hands. So you've already given me half a barnyard game. And then this guy.
Just stole your idea again.
The Berlin Wall over here. He's fucking taking another idea.
Well, Porter, great minds think alike.
Because obviously... No, they're faking it. They want the war.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Well, then build off of it.
No, I mean, tell me what, you are my real dad, I'm your real dad.
Nope, that's not happening.
Well, should ask your mom about that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Uh-oh. This was your idea, too.
It's a story for another time here.
To put the three of us.
I know.
This is your fault.
Yes, it is.
All right. Jesus. You know what? I'm gonna roll with it because this is bear related now.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this okay with me as a human first. It's bear related, and this becomes a problem because when the news, obviously this news has to be broken to the girl in question, who brings his nephew Gentle Ben back to life.
Okay.
Which now sparks the whole bullshit. Suddenly Kreger Wormfoe and his pal the Death Bear. That's the talk of the town, because the motherfucker did it. And maybe the Garu in question didn't know that this bear had that power. He had been hiding it.
Okay.
So it's not the Garu who are instigating at this point, or at least the inciting incident isn't the inciting incident per se. It's the reaction to that incident that now they're put in a position where they have to defend the bear against the Septigaru, who are furious because this asshole can bring people back from the dead after all. He's been fucking lying to us. I'm grasping a little, and I acknowledge it.
It still sounds awesome.
But I like the idea of turning that on its head if you gotta do it.
Okay. Either of you guys want to put a little extra spin on that?
Nah, Potter's just hating me already enough.
Yeah, I feel like I'm, 3 minutes into the round. I need a break.
All right, then the next one. This one's from Mage of Mind. A small town is being plagued with rampant kidnappings in the past year. The local fresh cub population has suddenly skyrocketed despite a rise in stillborn births from their kinfolk, and the lack of any of the signs of recent first changes. Is a guy growing stronger? Maybe the wild's influence is being felt? Or maybe something more? And we'll hit Charybdis first.
I fail to see the connection between the two. So the first deductions and the Garu growing out of control, let's say like this. I pass later actually on that one. I have to think about that one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. I would say that one of the local Garu has determined a ritual that may not be completely kosher that allows them to increase the number of kinfolk births despite the stillborn and allow more Garu to be born, maybe not completely sane because of the ritual that was being used.
Okay, I can see it.
I like that idea that the Garu being born, for the fresh cubs being born, will come up wrong. I like that idea. I mean, and that's a long con thing, but I like that.
Right. I mean, like, there are a whole bunch of rituals. And who's to say that this Garu isn't like, well, I'm going to grab, the bum off the street and then the rich Karen that pissed me off when I was just going in to buy a pack of smokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And use her life energy to further the guy in cause. It's only right and just.
Oh, I get where he's going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Garu can't be wrong.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
No, it's. I mean, I like the idea from Strides. That's basically some, well, let's say, mystic group of maybe Octana, because Octana are strange anyway. Especially those creepy Bane tenders, right, Potter?
The best Octana, yes. Far beyond the best ones.
Maybe have it to be actually have a Bane tender go and corrupt, be the source of that.
I like
and then
that.
go with the idea of strides and rituals, but those rituals are whispered to the sept leaders or the Bane tender by the Bane he's actually tending for.
No, I dig that. I think, my thought's not far off, but perhaps this is ultimately the doing of a magician. That perhaps his or her, who cares, magician, it's...
Mage?
Yeah, pull rabbits out of hats and quarters out of ears. They,
Wizards?
I just gotta take a shot at them. I can't help it. If I could implant the gif of Chevy Chase in the Cookie Wizard outfit into everybody's brain, I would. There you go, folks.
Coming from the suggestion from Mage of Mind.
There you go. See? It's shit, I didn't even think of that. Thanks.
Yep.
No, it is. It would be a mage who perhaps lost a kinfolk lover in childbirth. And so in attempts to return, what was lost, this has become a side effect that he is unaware of. And while there is an uptake in cub births, those cubs were essentially empty vessels.
Oh.
And yeah, who knows what's in those bodies in terms of spirit? But it's certainly not Garu in origin.
Oh.
Got some burn bright up in here.
That's what I'd do.
All right. Either of you guys got a little extra spin before I go on to the next one?
No, go for the next one. I like the idea from Porter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, we can throw that together, basically.
Combine all that together?
Wow.
I can see a story out of that.
Captain Planet style?
Sure.
That could be what the mage looks like.
Okay, here we go. All right. This one is from Melissa.
Who?
Melissa, our favorite female Canadian patron.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, do you know who Melissa is?
Nope. I do
What the
remember
Melissa?
I do remember somebody on the server talking about Canadian bacon one time, but other than that,
You mean a ham?
Well, anyway, what's Jade's mom have to say?
Jade's mom. Jade's mom says it's a race against time. A race against losing Mehmet to madness and in turn the worm. Race against stopping the slaughter of humans.
Did you say
Welcome to the
mammoth?
apocalypse.
Yeah, well, I'm just reading what she sent me. M-A-M-U-T.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's a tribal totem? Or not tribal totem, but a totem.
Yeah, it's the Get of Mammoths.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm guessing it's a tribal... Or, I said it again. It's a totem spirit. How about that? Let's just say it's a totem.
All right.
The spirit of Mammoth. How about that? I don't know what Mammoth is. Again, I'm just reading.
Charybdis?
Sure, yeah, Caribbean first.
Why me? Okay.
Because I'm the host and it ain't going to be me.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a race against time. You have what are you actually losing Mammoth for? Actually figure out what Mammoth is in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it a name for it? I mean, I know there is an Arabian name Mammoth, but I don't know how she wrote it.
Again, guys, I'm just reading verbatim here.
Well, I feel like maybe that was a typo that has fucked all of us.
All right, hold on. Once a powerful spirit, Mammoth, the great bull mammoth, was a powerful spirit.
Oh.
And was, okay, there we go.
So you skipped the important part first.
Okay.
They don't need to know this shit.
No, there were 7 paragraphs that were sent to me, and it's
Oh
a
my.
cool story, but, like, you guys want the story, the plot hooks. So I can't.
So you didn't want to read it. That's why you filled
I
up
get you, I get you.
incomplete stuff.
Thank you.
He's just trying to trick us to make us look stupid.
No, that was on
Yeah.
me. I'll take credit. That was on me.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm blaming you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so Mammoth is a great spirit, right?
It's a great bull mammoth.
And since we know that Mammoth is basically vanishing, I guess the race against time is also on that part. So I think it could be a third story, basically, going to the Umbra and trying to get it back some homeland of his and make it Mammoth's realm or whatever, Mammoth's realm, being infested, and the pack has to somehow cleanse that to restore some power to him so he can survive. And they actually might have to find a pack to follow him so he can get some power back and stay alive.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Because as Chris brought up, Mammoth and then any other incarnations of Mammoth is fucked because it's extinct.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of time. So yeah, I think branching off what Chris brought in, obviously we need, I don't even think a pack's going to cut it at that point. I think you end up sending them on a quest in the realm, and like you could do this archaeology kind of thing, which is weird that I came up with that of the three of us. That finding some old bones or something to get into the public eye to try to force interest, which will of course
help bring the spirit back.
Buy some time at least, because I think a pack or two, I don't think that'll be enough. So it's going to have to be like, hey, I want to see the spirit's not going to see some of my ancestors, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're hitting the tar pits, we're hitting some ancient whatever to try to uncover those bones and then get media attention to it, which is something that Garu love, is media attention.
Mm-hmm.
So you can add that to it, and maybe at the same time, if we're gonna pile on.
Yes. Please keep going.
Maybe the real race against time is the influence of the worm, who is perhaps whispering to our pal Marmot a way to prolong its existence in service of the worm.
Okay. So not only are you trying to preserve that spirit from going
from just
extinct,
fucking off, yeah. But you're trying
also
to keep it from switching sides before it does. Because maybe the worm's full of shit. That doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it could do something, maybe it can't. But if you can pry this thing away from Guy inside, even if it's for a few months, that's still a pretty nice fuck you to the Gaians.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's where you put the race against time. Is that can you solve this and give some positive Gaian street cred to the spirit before the worm sways him over?
Okay. How about you, Strides?
Well, my original idea is that Mammoth is just screwed, right? Yeah. Mammoth is extinct, but maybe you can, like with Almighty Dollar, raise something else into that place, right? And the nearest thing that I can think of would be elephants. So, maybe have the tribe go down to like Africa and work with other Gaians down there to help prevent the fall of elephant, and at the same time on a spiritual side getting Mammoth to transfer its portfolio, if you will, over to elephant. Another thing that I was thinking of, especially since one of my players is fond of yelling Weaver shit all the time, is you reincarnate a woolly mammoth via the route that Porter said. Now that's going to draw a lot of attention. It's not something Garu usually like, but you do bring Mammoth back to life, but with more of a Weaver bent. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably not the best idea, but it's another route you could go.
Man, they made how many Jurassic Park films about how that's not a good idea?
Oh, right. I didn't say.
Hey, man, life finds a way.
You are right. And I want Jeff Goldblum to be in that pack.
That's the name of the pack. You kidding me?
No, I thought the name of the pack would have just been, that's a big pile of shit.
That's the Goldblums.
Right. It's a big shit sandwich, and we all got to take a bite.
No, I appreciate the The strides. I appreciate that aspect you have of that. No, they're just fucked. You don't fix it. Here's an alternative, but we're out of steak, and you wanting it more is not going to bring back steak. So you want bologna sandwich, or you want nothing?
Well, the thing is like, just because there's a natural order to things, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And the spiritual side does play into that. And so when something goes extinct, it's just the natural course. Yes, you lose that spirit, that totem, but something else will always rise to fill the spot, right? In the case of megafauna, with mammoth, you still have its descendant, the elephant, in India and in Africa. So I would say go the route of that and try to ensure that the spirit of the elephant takes up that niche in the spiritual realm.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really cool idea. You guys want to build off on it?
I think...
Strice got it.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say Strice had it, and I like this idea to transfer basically the power and the influence of Mammoth. Well, sounds stupid for Mammoth, but he's going to extinct anyway. So better find a way to salvage this aspect of Gaian power
for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Before he does go. Yeah, I get it.
What else we got, Danny?
All right, another one from Jade's mom. You didn't know who she was the first time. So.
Oh, Melissa.
Yes, Melissa.
I should have said that. Go on.
She's going to hate you so much. Players must go and rescue 5 kinfolk from the Sept. They are trapped inside the city of Toronto, having attended a concert at Air Canada Centre. Surrounding the area is a massive riot that is getting bigger and harder to control. These are well-bred kin that need to be returned to safety.
Well, it's...
Yeah, thank you for the story, Melissa.
Yeah. I don't see the problem here. Because I know, I heard this scenario, the concert and a riot, but it's in Canada. It's like it's a Canadian riot, isn't it? Like, oops, pardon me, eh?
She's going to hate you.
So maybe it's a Rob Zombie concert and someone abducted Gary in there.
Hey, I'll throw out a strange scenario for y'all. It's a baby metal concert, okay? You don't get riots. But anyway, moving on. The kinfolk are being coerced by a bunch of kitsune who want to take them back to Japan to run certain, to see what happens if they can kinfolk have kitsune children. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the story's already kind of writ, so now at this point, I'm going to throw everybody a curveball. It doesn't have to make sense. It needs to be fun, and this would be a one-off that I would throw.
I think for sure a one-off, and I think in mine it's the kinfolk had a perfectly pleasant time because they're not Canadian, so they didn't know there was a riot. Just a few people bumped into each other and said they were sorry, so they just came home. Maybe they stopped for some Canadian ham. I don't know.
She's so gonna hate you, bro, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
She'll hate you instead of me.
Big fans of Melissa. She's good people.
Yes.
Just shouldn't have made it about Canada. This is what you get.
How about you, Charybdis?
Yeah?
What do you think? Can you build off a little bit?
Build off on the whole idea of a Canadian riot and kinfolk getting abducted.
So no, is what you're saying.
I mean, the story's there.
Yeah,
that's a story you can run.
Yeah, now jokes aside, that's already a story.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got more for us, though, Danny.
Yeah, those are the ones that we got suggestion-wise. There were a couple others, but the story's already there, so it's kind of hard to break those down.
And this is, to be fair, it's a harder concept than it sounds like to hand off to people. And so, thank you so much for you guys for writing in.
Yes, thank you a lot. Appreciate all the write-ins.
We made some jokes here and there, but hopefully for your benefit.
Right. So, but I do have a few that I did save from the last time we did this.
Perfect. Hit me.
This one is the PCs discover that a new top-of-the-line social housing development purporting to be eco-friendly safe. Well lit, it is reporting high levels of depression, unhappiness, and depression. There's already been a suicide. What's going on? And we'll hit strides first.
Oh, that's easy. They built it in the wrong place. So let's make it a a blight, or even better, if you have a strider in the group, you tie that in, and they built it. I hate to use the word native burial ground, but you could go, it was a site of severe gang on gang violence, and those ghosts, those wraiths have remained in that area.
Charybdis?
I mean, I like the idea of that's just built in the wrong neighborhood, basically. You can go Wraiths with that. You can go Bane, especially if you go for the native battleground. Try to avoid. Go for it. Make it a Bane-tended place. There's a Bane underneath it, and that's happening. I mean, you can go for quite a few supernatural threats out there and make it a monster of the week kind of thing.
I like it.
No, I mean, those are both solid angles. And I mean, I think we're all going to be kind of similar here. But I'm thinking maybe it's related to a nearby, perhaps underground, literally and or figuratively, lab where more experiments are being done.
Okay.
Something from Project Danid or something.
Oh,
where, where we're gonna play with some funky shit, and maybe something got loose, but not in the way. I mean, you say something got loose, and I think the first thing you think of is like a scrag or a mockery breed or something that's gonna run around and create some havoc.
Yeah.
But a thing that like ran scared, and maybe its abilities is to create an aura of.
Okay.
And so you have this creature, who's an offshoot of this place that's nearby but not directly on, who's like hiding in the sewer system or deep in the woods or under the woods. Maybe it's tunneling or building a nest to try to it's just trying to fucking survive. Like, it's not its fault that Pentex went, hey, let's fucking go crazy. But, and this, in fact, maybe even it was an innocent creature at one point, giving your players a little bit of a, maybe not a dilemma, because if it's got to be done, it's got to be done.
I was going to say,
but, put a couple stones in their stomach about having to do it.
Oh, okay. Character growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea.
This is an innocent thing that was just a victim and isn't trying to hurt anybody, but by existing, it's hurting everybody.
It's still worm tainted.
So you just gotta grab a brick and bash in that baby's head.
Thanks for the visual, bro.
Anytime, brother.
Okay, for a less vicious approach, I might make it. There's an elder Nosferatu sleeping underneath this, and those people are not depressed, or those people are not whatever. So those building works that just shook the earth and that woke that thing up, and that thing is going to eat. And so it's going to feed on the population there, and the people are, tired. And you know what you get if you're getting sipped on your blood every night. And some people are as bad as killing themselves, or maybe they don't kill themselves and the fiend just killed it. And that would be a very easy, as I said, monster of the week. That's my starting game for a new group.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, it's, lacks a certain brick smashing, but
Really? You find it in the middle of the day, you just use a brick. Or, my favorite method, burn the whole thing down.
That works on almost everything, which is cool.
Everything.
That and beheading, those tend to just work.
Yep. Doesn't matter what the problem is.
And you maybe would actually get them cutting off the forest to build new houses nearby.
See, that win-win.
Right?
Well, when I meant burn it down, I mean, it's that moral thing where you just burn down an apartment complex filled with people in it.
Can't make an omelet.
Yep, that was the same thing.
They moved there in the first place, right?
I'm saying maybe they shouldn't, I don't know, been human. I don't know.
Now, do we want to add for the more experienced player, or are we doing that for both there?
I don't feel like that needs to be broken in half.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this idea as well. For experience game, I might actually make it a Gaian thing. That's some spirits of the forest that was being cut down to build these complexes, and they are just avenging themselves.
I mean, what is that? Reusable means you got to regrow the plants, but that forest still has a spirit.
Which would be mighty pissed.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. All right, so you can add at least a little bit for the experienced player there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying it can be done. I'm not saying
No,
you have to.
yeah,
but...
no. I mean, it absolutely can be done. And again, these are solid. We got good storytellers here. These are good ideas.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if I would add the an extra layer to it, but you certainly can, and they both proved it.
All right, then the next one. Pack is summoned by a stranger's howl for aid when they arrive to find a lone Garu under attack by Banes. The one under attack is claiming to have information vital to defeat a local Pentex plan. Porters first.
Okay. My gut feeling, all right, was, you find a lone, Garu, you find enough bands, and then you help him, and he introduces himself. Sam Hyatt, how you doing? Since you decided to help, I'm going to give you a 30-second head start. But that's not what you said. You added more to it.
Well, I embellished it a little bit because, again, the story's there on these, so I had to kind of take a little bit out of it.
So you were, all right. I mean, that was the first thing that came to my mind, because I've always loved the idea of a story that's you are fucked, evade and survive.
Okay.
I've never run it, but I've always liked that idea, so that was the first thing that came to my mind. Obviously this could be a trap. And not necessarily from a wormish standpoint.
But just in general?
Yeah. Say the Garu in question. The Banes happened, just because shit does sometimes.
Right.
But in truth, this was a ploy to get that pack, the player's pack, to go to place X at time Y, to do thing Z, to get caught and murdered because of an old family blood debt, or feud rather.
Either way, it could be.
It could be a debt, could be a feud, but this is what this is. This is your grandfather did something shitty to my grandfather,
and now we're gonna fight because they're both dead anyway.
Right, and you didn't know about it. You should ask more questions. And really, this is an example of how you could tweet this example of how the Garu's past and in their long history and in the cycle of things can really come back to bite you in the ass and prevent them from moving forward.
Oh, Charybdis, Strides, either of you guys want to throw on top, or you have your own idea?
I mean, I had the first very lazy idea, which I actually don't run, but that's an easy idea for an inexperienced storyteller to do it. And I think it was once said on the podcast there had to be 500 million fetishes that hide worm taint on a Garu, because suddenly every guy coming to a sept has that thing and is in secret a black style dancer.
Right.
But I mean, if there would be an easy way into that, that'd be a thing. So this Garu is in fact actually a dancer trying to get the sept involved in stuff that they should not be involved in. Maybe get away from this, make it a trap anyway, but that's not from Pentex, but that's from a different sept. And that's from a different sept that wants your people go against that Pentex facility to grind themselves up, and while your sept is weakening itself and taking this thing down, they come and take over your sept. So basically, you go in there and you come back seeing your home burning, basically.
Little bait and switch, I dig it.
Yeah. How about you, Strides?
I have one for new players and I have one for old players. So my new player idea is the fact that this is a Silver King, right? A high-ranked older Silver King who just happened to, get ambushed essentially. And as the players interact with that Silver Fang, he's like, "Hey, there's this great thing that I need you to go do. It's against Pentax," and so they go on this journey, knocking over these Pentax things because the Silver Fang has convinced the elders of this. But as they go along, they realize that he's just batshit crazy, and they've been killing the wrong people the whole time. And so that's what I would do to the new players to kind of put it in perspective that
to fuck them up straight away is what you're saying.
Well, not just that, but Garu aren't always right. And just because someone is a old Silver Fang, to kind of put in their head that Silver Fangs aren't all right up in that brain housing group. You know what I mean? Especially as they get older, the madness that is previously in other editions more prone becomes more manifest. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah. So a new player, show them the crazy right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I like it. How about
Yeah, you said you had
an older player, the
Yes.
veteran player?
A new skinwalker in the area who originally put out that trap to try to get onesie or a twosie, ended up with a whole pack. And of course, as Crib says, he has one of those things that hides the fact that he is a skinwalker, infiltrates the sept, you know what I mean, and claims that his sept from way far away was destroyed. And now you have this malingering cancer in the group that interacts with other plots.
listen to this guy.
Yeah, I like it.
That's good shit.
All right, Porter, what do you got?
Well, I mean, where do you go from there?
They're both pretty good stories, so just spring off those at least.
Yeah, well, they are. They're solid premises, and then you've got the one I threw in, and even my joke one with Sam. I mean, which wasn't really a joke, but I had to tweak what you gave me. I don't know. I don't know if I can improve on what we've already laid down.
Well, both these guys had pretty good, solid stories, so.
I think we leave it there at that point.
Okay.
Talking about leaving, I fear I have to introduce my son Adrian. He just woke up since it's 3 o'clock in the morning here. And since he won't go back to bed, I fear, guys, I have to leave you here. And hope to be back at one day.
We
appreciate you being here, and yes, please come back.
Definitely. And yeah, thanks for joining us today. I mean, it sucks you got to go early, but we get it. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, it's sad priorities have to make. Okay, guys.
Understandable.
See you soon.
See you, Charybdis.
Take care, bud.
Bye.
Take care, bud.
So, Strides, I have one more, if that's cool with you.
Far away.
Alright. A war breaks out between PC's Sept and another Sept next door, with each accusing the other of meddling in their affairs and being incompetent in their war against the worm. We'll give this one to Strides first.
Alright.
I think the easiest way of going about this is by having a Corax causing issues. Maybe not a Corax, but an outside source. Let's make it a Nuasha, right? Let's make it a Coyote, straight up Coyote causing junk, right? And have the players start to filter truth from fiction. And maybe there is an underlying cause that really needs to be taken care of, and Nuasha is just doing his thing to bring that about.
I like that.
Didn't expect it.
No, awesome. I didn't. No one expects to wear coyotes. Okay. My gut, my first blush said, oh, it was a Black Sparrow trick. But again, that's so easy.
It's very easy.
And a little boring.
Yeah, I can see that.
So...
Because it's everywhere.
What if this is actually a plot by a third sept?
Oh, I can already see where you're going with this. Pitting them against each other?
Pitting them against each other to swoop in and take both territories while they're at their weakest. Perhaps a Shadow Lord power play? Perhaps a Silver Fang show of force?
I was thinking Shadow Lord power play.
I'm going to throw one at you and say maybe it's not Shadow Lord or Silver Fang. Maybe it's a Wendigo throwing both of those tribes against each other.
Well, Hoka, hey, that's a perfectly viable option too.
Okay.
Because Wendigo just says, screw both of you. You took my stuff.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly viable option as well. Hell, it could be get a Fenris testing the resolve. It could be a lot of things, but I think I would do an in-nation plot to probably to take all the territory.
Damn. I don't even want to say, let's go with the new player versus the vet player. I want to keep building off this one right here.
Okay. You're the producer, man.
Tell me, keep going. This one's fun. I'm glad we saved this one.
All right. Well, the two seps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, this is the easy one. Let's say it's a Get and a Black Fury Cairns, respectively.
Right.
And
because the bad blood between the two makes sense.
Makes it a very, very easy. But both are in the overall protectorate of the Silver Fangs. So this both, weakens these SYBS for the Shadow Lord grab, but undermines the authority of the Silver Fangs, who perhaps are sending emissaries down, Philodoxi, if you will, because that's the plural now.
Now it is, okay.
Yeah, to sending them down to mediate. In those messengers, they're not getting there.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
They're getting intercepted and assassinated on their way to those cairns.
Oh my god.
To make the Silver Fangs look like they're not doing anything and that they're fucking incompetent.
Come on, Strides, keep going with this.
I'm over here chuckling because I'm like, yeah, I could totally see that. Because despite how much shit I give the Silver Fangs, they're not all incompetent and insane. But I think if you have a Shadow Lords there and this is happening, the Silver Fangs first go to is, what the hell are they doing? And that's why I say, hey, let it be the Wendigo who are actually doing this between, the Get and the Silver Fangs, and that the Shadow Lords are the technical red herring, because no one thinks that the Wendigo could play an underhanded trick like that, but they're hunters, they're the ones that can find anybody no matter what. I mean, that's what their tribe is known for, right? Mm-hmm. That's the way how I would play it, that they know exactly who the couriers are, and that's why they're able to target and hit them. And maybe the Shadow Lords are complacent in this to some degree, but I wouldn't say that they're the main movers and shakers.
You know what? I like where your head's at. I'm going to transition to say that the Shadow Lords are, in fact, the red herring. It is the Wendigo, but the Wendigo are involved in this on the surface as well, because they're victims too, you see.
Oh, you're throwing that in there. Okay.
Maybe this group of cubs who didn't make it through their right, in truth, right? Okay. The real story is they died in the right and shit happens. But maybe the story they're telling is that we found a group of our cubs who were off on their rite of passage slaughtered, and here's part of a necklace with the Get a Fenris fucking glyph on it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, who to blame?
Right. Meanwhile, the Fury Sept and the Get a Fenris Sept are having the static, so it looks like the Get are completely the fuck out of control.
Throwing everybody under the bus.
Yes.
It is. Oh, fuck yeah. I love this shit. Oh man, I'm so sad that Curb just couldn't stay.
That's a bit of a bummer, but he just would have stolen my idea again.
Yeah, I was saying, probably would have stolen your idea.
Twice he got me on that.
Alright, well, that's all I had, but I kind of have a feeling you guys have one for each other.
I actually do have one. Streds, you got one?
Yeah, I got one for you, so you go ahead and fire away first.
You know what? You're the guest after you.
In a place that normally does not have earthquakes, let's take, you could choose any region of the world that is far enough removed from a fault line. Mm-hmm. There are a series of earthquakes that are happening, or, let's just leave it at earthquakes and see where you go with this. Like, what is causing it? Who is causing it? Go.
Okay. Well, chemical dumping and in nearby... No.
Okay.
No.
The wheels are turning.
Okay.
He just got a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Okay. The earthquakes are the result of, there is some chemical dumping, which isn't related, but it is insofar as that's a perfectly nice place for a spiral hive nearby. And guided through visions given to them by perhaps one of the urges.
Okay.
We can spin a Rolodex through Malpheus and we can pick an urge. Has given visions to this pack of spirals who have made this a temporary hive and have used those chemicals in conjunction with some mysterious rites to create an offshoot of the thunderworm, like a hybrid, and have created a pit, a breeding ground for these thunderworms, this new kind of thunderworm under the ground there, and that's what the fucking earthquakes are. It's their movement, is they're spreading around, growing, and increasing their territory.
It's more like a quake worm.
Well, that's what a thunderworm is.
Right, we got
at the
I was
larger
trying,
size. Yeah, it's
Tried.
Thunderworm's tremors, man.
Yeah.
Like original tremors, not the weird later ones where they get wings and frog legs and shit.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking it's the new Mongolian death worm.
Fucking Dune, Beetlejuice. You've seen this worm a lot.
Yeah. A lot of them use it.
Yeah, how's that for you?
I like it.
Now, can you build off that?
No, I think he hit the nail on the head on that one.
Thank you.
As far as in making it good and interesting for the players and as an ST to run.
No, that was good. That was good.
Now I got one for you.
Oh, I'm worried now. Go ahead, fire.
All right. A kinfolk in a place the pack has never been winds up dead. And on this kinfolk, whom this pack has never met, in a place they've never been, is the name and picture of the pack alpha. Go.
So it's a kinfolk who has a name and picture of the Sept Alpha.
Of the players, the pack
Or
alpha.
player alphas.
Yeah,
Okay.
but nobody knows him, and they've never been anywhere near where this guy is.
And he's dead.
Man.
And he's dead.
Yep.
Right. Oh man. I the first thing I have is most players are lost cubs, right?
True.
Or orphans. They've fallen through the cracks in society. So if that's the case for the alpha, I would definitely play it off as this is what's the term for a kinfolk who doesn't know their kinfolk? Keating.
I didn't know there was a term for that.
Yeah, that might have slipped by me too. Shit.
Right. There's a term for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's in one of the books, and sadly, I'm not going to go digging through it.
No, there's absolutely no need for it.
No.
Right. So I would definitely play it off as that that person had given up the alpha young in life and was had been tracking that person down throughout most of their life, and finally had beginning to make contact when they fell afoul of it can be something mundane. But now you have this big hubbub of what's going on, who's going on, and that's kind of boring. So what I would do is I would throw it in an ancestral enemy, whether that be another sept. It could be something as strange and alien as the Fae. You know what I'm saying? Getting back at that person's family, and now they are aware of the player character and what is going to happen from that. That's how I would play it off of. A little bit of intrigue, a little bit of who done what, why were they killed, and the revelation of who that person was to that character.
I dig it. I dig it.
I love this game.
I want to see your scenario and raise you.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Well, because this is off of your scenario. I didn't know it's not a relative. It's a PI kinfolk who was hired by said relative.
Oh, Jesus.
Who is of another tribe, perhaps a rival tribe, depending on the tribal breakdowns of the pack, who has a problem with how things have turned out, or perhaps is now drawing the alpha and therefore the entire pack into some older family squabble that said alpha knows absolutely nothing about. Perhaps still dealing with the Fae or whatever. But now, that relative is still alive, so the player has a chance to interact with that relative, and maybe that relative is in the aggressively in the wrong.
I like it. I tilt my hat to the better ST in this case. Good sir.
Well, I don't know if it was a competition.
Yeah,
but
we certainly weren't measuring, but thank you.
Well, I'm just being honest. You took it and you raised it, and I can't get mad at that. And I'm learning something new. So always take the next step.
Ring the bell, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny.
You're welcome.
Oh, this is good times. But that
That seems to be what we had. Unless you guys got any other ones, but it's about that time. So
I just had the one. Strides, thanks so much for joining us. This has been great.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on here, and again, it's an honor to have you as one of our patrons, as the storyteller in our Discord server.
Yeah, I mean I've sat in on several of your games, man. You are a top-notch storyteller, and I'm proud to have you with us. I'm thankful to have you with us. And hey, if you're interested, maybe you just maybe coming back on the show again at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Just give me a shout out and let me know when and where, and I'll be there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks so much, man. Until that point, or really until next week. Like next week there'll be a show, and
Well, I sure as hell hope so.
right. On behalf of everyone here at Scratchin Wolf Studios, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. Take care of each other. Keep on howling, and we will talk to you next time.